All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, you see it on the screen here, we got some Blurple Crocodile action. And I'm sure if you read the icon, the thumbnail to click on this video, you probably got a pretty good idea of what we're going to be getting into today. We're going to be exploring a direction that I haven't really seen anyone mess with this leader. I mean, to be fair, I don't see most people messing with this leader at all. However, I'm going to be messing with two different versions of this deck today that's using, it's going to be two different versions. And how do I explain this? Let me be very specific here. Within the color blue, there is a core archetype right now, or a core type in 7 Warlords that is just simply strong. just period, it's strong. So with our leader being 7 Warlords of the Sea, why not give it a try? Why not give it a whirl? There could be something there. We'll check that out as we get to it. And then there's one other type that is very strong within a color that he shares in purple. Now, this is going more into the OP0 8.5 range, the OP0 9 range. Purple Straw Hats are getting a lot of support. And this leader's effect is generic enough where I think we might be able to get some value from it. Maybe not. But at the worst, we're going to be able to combine two colors and, do things through that. Get some potential advantages through that. Okay, so that's what we're going to be hopping into today, guys. That is the overall, theme of today's video, the main topic we'll be covering. But let me go ahead and break down this video for y'all so you know what we're getting into. First things first, we're going to be hopping over to the lab. We're going to be checking out a game of Green Uda versus Zuro. Okay, that should be pretty interesting. Pretty interesting matchup there. Can't wait to see that. After that, we are going to go straight into 7 games on the sim. If I remember correctly, I think I have 3 games as the 7 Warlords version of Croc, and then I have 4 games of the Purple Straw Hat version of Croc. Something like that. We'll see as we get to it, but we've got 7 games to go over. Then we're going to hop over to the sim, check out the deck list, and we'll do a final critique. We'll wrap it up in that way, and yeah, that'll be it. All right, guys, I have everything time-stamped down in the general description. I'll have all relevant links in the comment section and any kind of deck lists and stuff like that. All right, let's do this, guys. Let's get into it. Can't wait to get into this one. This one looks pretty fun. Let me adjust my microphone real quick. There we go. All right, first things first, guys. We got a game on. We have the VV Lab. Let me move the leader real quick. Let me actually hit play for just. There we go. Just so it shows the opponent here, the Zuro. For those who are wondering, what is the lab? If you're a new listener, a new viewer of the channel, the lab is a portion that I try to include at the beginning of every single one of my videos. It is meant to be an instructional, almost like a miniature coaching session. And what I'm doing here is this is not me playing. This is a community submitted game. So if you're interested in me reviewing your game, totally free of charge on the channel, all you have to do is record your game, upload it to YouTube, join the VV Theory Discord, and post the link to the video under the Review My Game channel in the Discord. As soon as I see it and write it down, I give you a thumbs up emoji by it, and then you're just, you get thrown in line, and whenever it's your turn, you're up. Okay, easy enough. If you have any questions about that, please do not hesitate to ask down in the comment section below. Speaking of which, if you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions on anything, please put it in the comment section below. I do try to answer those as quickly as possible. Now, let's hop into this game. The volume is off. Speed, let me check real quick. The speed is on 2x, and the quality is all the way up. We are good to go. All right, so now this game. We have a game of Green Uda versus Red Zuro. Okay, Zoro, they're calling it Zuro because it has like an animal package that it runs down. It's very powerful. Now, Uda is... Let me see something real quick. So the red player did choose to go first. They won the dice roll and chose to go first. So they went first, played out of Dr. Kureha. Okay, 1 second. This is going way too fast. I keep it on 2x speed so we can get through these videos in a timely manner, right? So, turn 1, they go Kureha. They do a search, get a card they need. And then on turn 1 for our Uda player, they also did a search with New Genesis. And then they played out a Bluno. Because remember, guys, even though New Genesis costs 1 Dawn, if your leader's Uda, you get the Dawn right back, right? It makes the Dawn active after you use the effect. Absolutely crazy effect. I don't know what kind of logic there is behind it, but hey, that's what it does. Now we are on the second play, or now for the second turn for the Zoro, they play out a Tony Chopper, which then cheats out a 3-cost Hiking Bear. Okay, and they swung for 5 with the leader before that. I think they did it before that. Let me see something real quick. Yeah, swing for 5 first, proper sequencing, and now they're going to pass the turn back. Okay, we have 3 Brooks in our hand, so I think it is time to just swing 5 here and then develop a Brook plus another body, which can be the Nami here. Okay, we did not get a lot of value, unfortunately. We do have. Let's talk about that real quick. It's way better to be able to start drawing cards early on with our Uda. However, it doesn't always work out that way, right? So in this situation here, we did not draw a card from our Nami entering play, and we did not draw a card from our leader effect. Instead, we had to cheat 2 cards out of our hand, and we've already taken a life and we're still down to 5 cards in hand. We're in a rough spot, but this deck, Uda is very good at battling for the board, and it does run, at least usually the film version runs some pretty decent blockers. I think we just haven't seen them yet. We'll see what happens, guys. I don't know what happens. Excuse me. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to swing for 5 into the leader, give him a 1K counter. I agree with that, because here comes a 6K. I would consider 2King out of this, because I don't think we need that Mihawk for anything else, but I would consider playing that. Okay, so we take it. 6 more, we can 2K out of this one, that's fine. 6K more, like I said, I would consider, okay, nice. So that ended up working out about the same. All right, so now in this situation, it is time to fight the board. There's no way around it. Okay, let's count our Dawn real quick. Okay, 5 into 3 is fine. Yeah, 5 into 3 is fine. We're going to use the 1 Dawn activation for the Nami, because she has an on-play and when attacking pay 1 to do a top 3 search for a film card. So we're going to swing 5 into 3. That should go through. People don't like to counter 2 out in this kind of situation, especially for a character that's not super important. And they're going to go ahead and do a top search. Now, they only can grab the Uda. That was almost a whiff, guys. That was almost a whiff. Okay, so we're going to grab the 3-cost Uda here, which is a blocker. I mean, that's definitely very good, and we can cheat that out with our Brook. So, yeah, I would swing 5 into 4. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then we'll go 6 into 5. That's how I would do this. Whoop, okay, beautiful. Yeah, they thought about a few other things. They're going to 2K counter out. That's fine, because we can play out the Brook now plus the Uda. We can't use the effect. We don't have any... actually, I think it requires events to trash. I could be mistaken, but if not, then we didn't have, you know... Hang on, let me finish that thought. We're swinging 6 into 5. This is a big decision here. This is a big decision, but there's no way on earth I would let that Nami go. Now, real quick, what I was saying with Uda... That 3-cost 4K blocker Uda we just cheated out, I think you have to trash a film card from your hand, and you can stand a character. Or stand a film character, I think, specifically. However, it might be an event card that you have to trash to stand a character, but I can't remember exactly. So I'm sorry, guys, you know, bear with me on that. I'll try to... If I remember later, I'll look it up. Okay. Actually, guys, I just have it up over here. Let me just look. I can just look it up real quick. I like to make sure y'all have all the relevant information here. Okay, for green, Uda. Sorry, guys, I have it on the other screen. You'll see what I'm saying in a minute. And, okay, 1 second. Here we go. Here it is, Uda. Okay, and one thing I have to mention, too, real quick, guys. This is a small rant. Bear with me. Some people get mad when I say sorry like that. Just understand, I'm not asking for forgiveness. It's just me saying, oops, I may have made a mistake there. My bad, right? That's all it is. I had someone in my last video say, you know, why do you always ask for forgiveness? I'm not. There's actually a difference between apologizing and asking for forgiveness. Look it up, guys. There's actually a difference, believe it or not. Okay? Especially when you're saying sorry as an apology. Like, oops, sorry about that. You know, it's like, hey, it was an accident, but hey, if you don't want to forgive me, I'm not worried about it. Yeah, it's one of those situations. Maybe it's half-hearted, who knows, but hopefully y'all understand what I'm saying. Because like I said, that came up in my last video. Someone was like, why are you always asking for forgiveness? I'm not. I don't think I've ever asked for forgiveness once on my channel. That's not how I operate. But whenever I say something that's wrong, I have no problem saying, oops, sorry about that, guys, my bad. Yeah, and moving on. Okay, now, over here. That was a miniature rant because I really wanted to respond to the comment, but it's like, no, let's not do that. We'll just say it on here. So the Uda I was talking about, you have to, at the end of your turn, you may trash 1 event from your hand and set up to one of your film-type characters as active. Okay? So that's what it does. Very good stuff. Let's move on. Okay. So 6 into 5 here. We did not have any events to trash to stand our characters up. There's no way I would let this card go. Giving a 1K and a 1K there. Okay, yep. I guess that's fine because, yeah, we had to get out of 2 other potential attacks. Yep, blocker. There's no way. There's no way I would let this card go. Yeah, just block out with Uda. Absolutely. That was perfectly well played. That was very well played there. because you're able to get out of the 6K attack, get out of the 7, and get out of the other 7 to save this character. Now we can attack and just get the cards right back, right? We can just get the cards we needed right back. I would have maybe swung for more than that. I see we're just swinging for 5s here. I haven't done the math for the turn, but what is our follow-up play? We still have a lot of Dawn. Yeah, here we go. And in this situation here, I'd actually swing with my leader first. Okay, they're messing with their Dawn here. You can right-click and do that with the Dawn to, like, move it around, I believe. Yeah, so swing for 5 here, and then... Interesting. Yeah, so I personally would not do that. So I would swing 7 into 6 here is dangerous. It went through. Okay, we will take that. Very nice. And now, yeah, you might as well swing the others. I would swing 2 more into the Zoro. I'd swing 7 into Zoro. Okay, just popping it, playing out the Uda. That's fine. And not swinging with the Brook. We're going to starve the opponent a little bit. I think that's fine. Okay, swinging 5 into 5 here. I would absolutely 2K out of this, and then I'd 2K out of the next one, and then I'd use the blocker. Yeah, this is perfect for us. This is literally perfect. It's 2K out of this, and then he's going to swing in for 9 or 10 or whatever. Yeah, and then we 4K out. Easy. Yep. Beautiful. Okay, we're in good shape now. We can just keep fighting this board. Okay, 5 into here, using it to draw a card. Yeah, keeping this Nami alive is the absolute most important thing currently. I like the 7 cost Luffy in this situation, even though we don't have a body to cheat out with it. I do like that quite a bit, because then we can actually, you know, get a blocker down and be safe. So New Genesis is good as well. We'll do a top 5 search. Or top 3, excuse me, obviously. Obviously a top 3 search. Okay, so right here. I would get rid of this dragon. I absolutely would get rid of this dragon here. I think I'd load every single card. Okay, so that's one way. Let's pause for a second. So real quick, the way that I would have dealt with this turn, we have full board control, right? We have absolute full-on board control. What I would do in this situation is I would load up everything on my leader, and I mean everything. So that would have been, what, 8 Dawn, I believe, or 9? 8 or 9 Dawn, whatever it was. Yeah, I think 9 Dawn. And I would swing 14 into 9. He only had 2 cards in hand. He can't save it, right? It's like impossible, because the most they could have got to was 13. And then we draw a card from the Uda effect, potentially. You know, we might whiff on that. You never know. But the card's gone. The dragon's gone, and we still don't have to swing with our Brooks. If we're trying to starve them, we can leave that, and we can go about doing things again the next turn. And we have a blocker. I mean, there were a few other options as well. We could have swung for like 12, or what would have been like 11, and then just try to use a blocker. 7 into 5. I think they're going to finally get our Nami. I think I'd let it go here, personally. Okay, and they do. Very nice. 10 into 5. 10 into 5. Okay. Going to play out Kid and Killer. Yeah, we can expect nothing but rush cards coming up. Like, it's about to just be rush cards after rush cards after rush cards here. I think just sitting behind some blockers here and eating this board up with your Zoro is the way to go. We only need 5 Dawn left. Yeah, 5s into 5s here. I'd have maybe swung for 6 with the leader first to draw a card. Okay, they're going to cheat that out. 5 into 5. We got rid of it there. Now we can easily take out the dragon. That's nice. Yep. I think I'd use card action because it's just 1 Dawn to use the card action here. Okay, that's fine too. And then we'll activate for 2. And let's see what we do in this. Yeah, I would play out all of my blockers and maybe even develop the Nami over one of my Brooks. Okay, they're doing the math. I like how they use the Dawn down there to separate the piles like that. If that works for you, you should. I believe it's by right-clicking. Okay, so right here, going to swing for 8. This will obviously go through unless they choose to block, which I would not do. We need some blockers here. Absolutely. Excellent. So that was the exact correct play. I wouldn't use that card effect here. Let him swing into the... yeah, because Brook is not a blocker, right? So there's no point in standing up the Brook. Okay, there is no point. All right, swing for 14. I'd let him have it. Because we have lethal on board easily. We have lethal on board plus our hand with the I'm Invincible. Because it's going to be 3 attacks that are going to go through for Zoro. That's fine too, I guess. Not a big deal. We got another Zoro. You love to see it. But I think it's time to go for lethal here. Yep, we'll swing 5. They give us a 2K. Swing for 5. Yep, perfect. And now we're pretty much guaranteed to go through. Okay, trying to separate the pile into these different 3s down here. 3 is going to be for Zoro. 3 is going to be for, what's it called? I'm Invincible. So, yeah, let's swing first with this. Okay. Swing again. Yeah, this is just going to go right down the line here. Okay, set. Yep, set is active by using 2. Swing in for 9. Of course, those were going to go through. There was no way they wouldn't. And let's see what we have here. I think we load up 4. Yeah, we should load up 4. It kind of went weird the way it was clicked like that, the way that it distributed the Dawn. So we'll swing for 9. They block it. We'll stand this up. You know, we got a 2K counter in hand just in case. Stand this up, swing for 9. This should go through. Yeah, okay, it was just enough. That was very close, actually. They almost got out of it, but here's the idea. So notice, so say they get out of it. Look at what their next card is. Their next card is a dragon. Doesn't matter, right? Because we have a blocker. We have a blocker, and we also have 2, 4, 5. Yeah, I think, hang on. No, I think it is good that we had a blocker, but still, it's like let me try to do the math. It's like, okay, dragon can put 2 on our leader, and we'll have 2 left. So swing for 9. Okay, and we could have got to 10. We still could have got to 10 even if we didn't have a blocker, but still, that's too close for comfort at that point. All right, that was a really good game. That was a very interesting game there. Green Uda is one of those decks that, like, okay, I don't play a lot of green. In fact, it's probably one of my least favorite colors, which doesn't mean it's bad. I'm not saying it's a bad color, but it's like my least favorite as far as what I like to play. However, if I were playing green, I don't think I'd be playing Bonnie. I mean, I'd probably experiment with it and, like, mess around with it, but I think I'd be going more in the direction of Uda. Like, this is more my play style. Just like I'm just going to keep, you know, going full value and just going more of a mid-range tempo style as opposed to the more lockdown control. I'm not opposed to the lockdown control style. I'm just saying this mid-range, it just looks fun to me. It just looks like a lot of fun. Great submission there. Thank you guys for submitting these. This has become like a mainstay on the channel. This has been a great addition to the channel with all these, what are they called? All these labs. Okay, give me 1 second to get set up, guys, and then we will move over to some games on the sim of Blurple Crocodile. Okay. Let me move the black screen here. Move my head up a little bit. There we go. All right. So, volume is off. Speed is on 2x. And here we go. You guys ready? First game. We've got a game against Blue-Black Rebecca. Now, I believe the first 3 games we're going to look at are actually of me playing the 7 Warlords version, and then the last 4, I believe, are the Purple Straw Hats. Okay, and I believe all this is like OP09 legal, just so everyone's aware, because the way the sim is set up, that's how I have to do it, so I can use the OP0 8.5 cards. So, going to start off with a buggy, a top 3 buggy search. I really want the Sengoku to start searching for stuff, but we'll see how that goes. I think next turn here I'll be on 4 Dawn, so I'm actually going to use the new Trafalgar Law to just bounce their guys out of my way if I can. Now they did end up getting that Leo there. That was unfortunate. We'll swing for 5, and I think right here, I think I just develop an Edward Weevil to draw a card. Yep, draw a card, get a decent-sized body on the board, and we're just moving through the game. And they took that hit, by the way. So that's a red flag. I don't know what this person is going for here, but Rebecca should be aggressively countering out of cards at her life so she can use her leader effect more consistently. At least in my opinion, that's how I like to play it. So swing for 6, they take it. Swing for 6, they take it. I'm just perplexed at this point. I'm like, I don't know what this guy's doing, but we're going to try to punish him. If I had a pudding in hand, this guy would be in a lot of trouble. That's one thing I can tell you right now. If I had a pudding in my hand, this guy would be in a lot of trouble, and I don't run it in the current list, but that might be an improvement we can focus on later. Speaking of that, guys, real quick, I paused it. Be thinking of possible improvements, because I want to know what y'all think about this list. Do you guys think that I'm onto something here? Do you think there's some potential here? And if you do, you know, like I said, try to think like, okay, hey, maybe we can add this to the list, or maybe we could do this. Or if you've already tried some of these ideas, tell me what you think in the comment section below, because I'm always trying to take a deck to the next level and get it out of the casual zone into at least like the semi-competitive zone where you can start, you know, playing it at locals and winning a few games with it. You know, you gotta start somewhere, right? Okay, now back to the game. All right, here we go. So they're going to play out the Orlumbus again. Remember, I bounced it back after using the Sengoku. They bounced it back. Or, excuse me, I bounced it back. Now they're playing it back out. They're going to get rid of my Edward Weevil. And here we go. I think I'm up to 8 Dawn. I'm up to 8 Dawn. There's a lot of things I can do here. Oh, nice. That Jinbei is really good with what we're trying to do here. So I can swing for 6, swing for 7 with what's on the board. I think we're going to do that. And then we're going to play out the Jinbei to cheat out the other Trafalgar Law. So swing 6, swing 7. Again, this guy is just trying. Imagine if I had a pudding right now, guys. Imagine if I had a pudding. Okay, so play out the Jinbei, cheating out the 4-cost Law, returning my Sengoku back to my hand, bouncing the Orlumbus again. I'm absolutely pestering this person right now with all of this bounce effects from the Trafalgar Laws. Okay, and we're just going straight into the late game, and he has 0 life. Like, he has no life, guys. Okay, he's going to play out. He's done a bunch of cost reduction. I don't know what he's playing. I don't know what he's trying to do. If I had to guess, he's probably playing out something like, Kairos. Pops my what's his name there? Pops the Jinbei. He has 3 Dawn left. I'm like, he probably has another Kairos. I think I counter out of this just to be safe in case he has a Kairos. I don't want to lose too much pressure now that I have him in this position. Okay. I'm trying to see if I can draw a card with my leader effect by just like aggressively countering out, but it'd be too aggressive. It wouldn't be worth it. And he plays out a Bartolomeo. He plays out the 2K counter. It's a blocker, but it's also a 2K counter. Okay, well, let's see what we can do now. I think we should just keep attacking his hand here. So watch this, guys. I swing for 6, and this is interesting what happens next. I win. Why did he leave? Let's analyze what just happened. I don't know his hand, right? I don't know what's in his hand, okay? So look what's in his hand. Not a single 2K counter, not one. And he played out the only one he had. I had no intention of going for game this turn. However, if I saw him go 1K to get out of that 6K attack, of course I'm going to swing for 6 at least 2 more times, right? And then I was just going to develop another body. So the way my turn was going to go is I had 10 Dawn, right? So I was going to go swing 6, swing 6, swing 6, swing 7, and then I was just going to play out the Boa Hancock, locking down one of his Kairos and bottom decking his, like either the Rebecca or the Leo, probably the Leo. And then I'm just going to pass the turn, right? But here's how that would have gone. If I would have swung for 6, let's just say in the best case scenario he knew what to do, he would have gone 1K to get out of it, and then I swung for 6 more, he'd have done 1K to get out of that, and then I swung for 7, and he could use this blocker then. Then I play out the Boa Hancock, locking down one of the Kairos, bottom decking the Leo, and he has lost 4 cards in that transaction there where he's gone down that far. So this is actually one of the situations where if I would have hit him with a pudding, maybe it would have helped him. Maybe it would have gave him more 2K counters. Who knows? All right, that was a fun one. That was a good one to get started on. Let's keep going. Okay, so that was versus Rebecca. Next game we have against Red-Black Sabo. Okay, not Red-Yellow Sabo, but Red-Black Sabo. Which is a very interesting leader. I think if Lucci keeps, getting better and better, maybe Red-Black Sabo has a spot in the meta somewhere. I don't know. This is actually not my favorite leader, like the way this is built. And guys, y'all know I love Red-Yellow Sabo. But Red-Black Sabo, I'm not a huge fan of it because it only deals with one form of removal, and that is KO. Well, as the game goes on, we're going to see more bottom decking, we're going to see more trashing, we're going to see more resting. So it's like it's a leader that only saves you from a single type of KO effect. Well, I should say KO effects or in battle, but still, you guys know what I mean. Okay, so I think we're going to swing for 6. We're going to go Jinbei into Weevil. So I played this out first because into Trafalgar Law, bouncing back the 2K counter, pushing that guy out of the way, and just going in for 6 here. And I've got another Jinbei to use with the Edward Weevil here. Okay, so it's my opponent's turn now. Guys, that new Trafalgar Law is just so incredible. Like, what it does for the 7 Warlords package is just gross. Now, one thing to remember, guys, notice in my hand I have an 8-cost Crocodile. That's a 7 Warlords of the Sea card, guys. That is a 7 Warlords of the Sea card. Don't sleep on that. Now, right here, I make a play mistake. I don't know why. I thought he let the leader effect go off. That was just a play mistake. I should have swung at face because he used a 1K counter to save the Borsellino, not the leader effect. So that was just a mistake, swinging into the Borsellino like that. Okay, so he uses a Portgosti Ace, but that does not have Rush. That does not have Rush here. He's going to swing 6 into 2. He can have that. And I think he's going to also do 2 into 2. So hear me out. I actually counter out of this because I'm daring him to use his Borsellino, right? It's like, hey, by all means, swing with your Borsellino, and I'll swing 6 into it like 5 times or 4 times or whatever, right? Okay, so I've got 9 Dawn for the turn. I'm not exactly sure how I want to do this. I don't know if I want to play out the 8 cost or the 9 cost. I think I choose the 8 cost because I want to start cycling through cards if necessary. So I'm going to swing 5, 5, 6, 6. Or I might do, 5, 5, 6, 6. Okay, and now we're starting to burn through his hand here, and we're getting him low on life. but we're going to develop a really strong body here. We're going to play out the Crocodile. We're going to gain a life. And if he wants to swing in my board, into my board, that will kind of not be great for us, right? That's not a great thing. But we're getting deeper into the game now, and he's only at 1 life. So he's actually in a very dangerous position here. Okay, he's going to play out the 7-cost Newgate from OP05, which is a on-play, attach a Dawn to your leader, and then rest him to KO a 5,000 power character or less. And that is an activate main to do the KO, and the Dawn effect is on play, and he costs 7. He's going to swing 7 into 5, 8 into 5. I'm going to let him have all this. I'm absolutely fine with it. I mean, I'm not happy about it, but I'm completely fine with it. Okay, so now we're going to poke for 9. Let's see what he wants to give me. He's going to use that effect there. So now I think we're going to swing for... 3, 8 into 5. Hopefully this goes through, because then I'm just going to play out a Boa Hancock. He drops his entire hand there. I'm fine with that. We're going to lock down the ace. We're going to bottom deck an Ezo, and I have 4 life. Our opponent is in a very, very tough position. If he cannot get rid of my 8-cost Crocodile right here, that's it, guys. That's a wrap. Now he should be able to. I could have aggressively... Okay, so hear me out. Okay, what I could have done there. I could have used the 0-cost 3k counter, trashing a Lin to go to 12, and then draw a card from the leader's effect. But, and like chance getting a 2k counter. I'd rather not do that, though, in this situation. I don't think it's necessary. Okay, so let's keep going. Here we go. I let it go. Unfortunately, it happens. And then he's going to swing for 6 into 5. We take it and get another Crocodile. So I actually got a really horrible hand this game. He swings for 5 into 5. Remember, guys, Kid Killer is only a 7 if you're attacking someone who has 2 or less life. If your opponent has 2 or less life. So we go ahead and use the Jet Gatling to draw a card from the leader effect, trashing one of my Crocodiles. We draw a Raging Tiger from that effect. We draw Trafalgar Law for the turn. We're going to swing for 8. We're going to swing for 9, and we're just going to call it GG. So that, whoops, hang on, let me get back to the end here. They're going to surrender right here. Pause. There we go. They didn't have a lot in hand. I mean, they could have, they didn't really, how do I say this? Gecko Moria is not bad there, but guys, with the Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, getting rid of 2 characters, potentially 2 blockers, that has always been my problem with Red Black Sabo, is he doesn't cover all forms of removal. Okay? And because of that, okay, well, I'll just bottom deck your guy. You guys remember when Sakazuki was out, right? When Blue Black Sakazuki was out, and then Red Purple Law, it's just, hey, I'm just going to bottom deck your guys, so you can have that effect. I wish they would errata this card or print out a new Red Black Saba where it could deal with all forms of removal. Then it might be a very strong leader. Okay, let's keep going. All right, next up we have game versus Marco, and I believe this is the last game for the 7 Warlords. Let me go. The speed is 2x. Volume's off. We're good to go. Okay, and by the way, I had Boa in both those earlier games. I just never saw it. You know, sometimes you just don't draw very well. It happens. And this hand, by the way, is atrociously bad. Right? Like this hand is horrible. Now, one cool thing about Boa Hancock, the new 4-cost 6k that we're about to play out this next turn here, number 1, it's a 4-cost 6k blocker, right? But remember, guys, our leader is 7 Warlords of the Sea. So I use a Gum Jet Gatling there to try to fix my hand with the leader effect. So watch this, guys. I'm going to set my top 3 cards. I'm going to set it, I think, just like that. And then I get to attach a Dawn to my leader from the Boa's effect. And you know, now my leader effect is active. So that's actually a pretty decent amount of synergy if you think about it, guys. It's really not that bad. I think if there were more purple 7 Warlords of the Sea cards that were like 4-cost, 4-cost 7 Warlords of the Sea cards, I think Blurple Crocodile would be kind of insane with that kind of package. Okay, so I do want to punish him, but I have to still play out an Edward Weevil for the sake of, like, you know, staying aggressive and keeping tempo here. Or actually that or the Boa Hancock, and I'm trying to do a little bit of math here. I'm like, okay, let me swing 6 into 6 here. He lets that go. So that was somewhat of a play mistake, because watch what happens here, guys. I use that Boa to set my top cards, attach a Dawn to my other Boa. Now I'm swinging 8 into 6. He could have just 1k countered out of my 6 into 6 with the pudding there, but he got greedy, used a blocker, and I swung for 8 into his Port Gusty Ace. And then he does Gravity Blade. He Gravity Blade Raging Tigers there, but he had to counter out with so many cards. He's down to 2 cards left in hand. Swing for 6. I'm going to use my effect here, drawing a card, getting a lot of value, out of my leader effect this game. So I have 8 Dawn. I think what I'm going to do here is swing 7 into the Ace and then play out the Boa to make sure he can't stand up. So it's kind of like, okay, you're either going to let this card go, or you're going to wish you did, right? 7 into 6, he does let it go, so we're going to play out the Boa there. I just need a little bit of, I need a presence on the board here. Okay, gets a Marco. He's going to attach 1 Dawn to leader, use leader effect, lower the power of my Boa Hancock by 2, so now it's down to 6. And then they have 4 Dawn left. I don't know what they're going to do with that. Swing 6. Okay, I take it. I end up just bottom decking the Red Rock, and they play out another Marco. So looking back, I actually wish I had saved that Red Rock. I think that was a slight blunder, a slight misplay in my personal opinion. Swing for 8. They actually let all this go, and now I am going to still get rid of the Marco, but it's going to cost it's going to be at the cost of giving them a life and a potential 1K counter later in the game. Okay, so I still have ways to gain life here. Let's see what they choose to do. They have a 10 Dawn turn ready. I think this is the old-fashioned 9 Dawn turn for Marco here. Or it's a 10 Dawn turn, but it's the 9 Dawn play with Sanji into Newgate. Hard to beat that, guys. I am going to have to aggressively counter out of this. We're going to draw a card from it with our leader effect. Very nice. And now, our turn. We have a lot on the board, but so do they. Right? That's kind of where we're at right now. We have a lot on the board, but so do they. So I'm going to get very aggressive here. I think the longer this game goes on in this state, the more trouble I'm in. Swing 8, swing 9. He counters out of everything but 1 attack because he was a 7K leader this turn. I'm going to play out the Crocodile to gain a life. He gets a Red Rock, and now I'm in trouble. Right now things are not looking great. And this is where I wish I had a Red Rock. If I just had a Red Rock, I could have approached this entire situation differently. But instead, I got greedy with those Marcos. It is dangerous to leave Marco on the board, though. Like, it does have to be said. Leaving Marco on the board, he does turn sideways and become an attacker later in the game if he has to. So he swings for 12 into my 8 there. He's going to swing 10 into 7. Yep, you got it. I can't do anything about it. 6 into 5. I couldn't get out of that. I take that. And here we go. So we're going to do a top 5 search with Sengoku. I only have one target, the Edward Weevil. And right here, I think I'm just going to smash 10 into 9 and hope for the best. He did not have a 2K counter. That was a best-case scenario for me. If he has ace, I probably just lose. Like, that's my mindset right here, is if he has an ace or some type of equivalent rush card here, I think I just lose. But what do? You know, I don't really have any other choice. I don't really have anything else I can do. Plays out a Rayleigh. So, okay, we're wiping the sweat from our brow here. He's going to swing in for 7. We have to take it. And then he doesn't swing with the Newgate. And it's like, okay, hey, I mean, I will take I'll take it. Right, we'll take that. Okay, so right here, I think I have to put on a little bit of extra pressure here. We'll take him down. Okay, I swing in for 7. He gets a Sanji's pull-off trigger to draw 2. I'm like, good night, dude. We're in so much trouble. But here we go. Let's see what our opponent does. We're not in the best situation here. We're not in the best spot. And let me just say this right now. If they had just swung with the Edward Newgate last turn, I think they would have won the game. Because I was searching for a blocker. I just didn't have one. Okay, so a lot of things just happened there. Pause. We took that hit there. We did a cycle with the Crocodile character, and we got a 0-cost 3K, and that's going to basically win us the game right here, guys. Okay, so I do the math here. I'm trying to see like what has to happen. I have to get out of 2 attacks, but I can't take this one, or he'll swing for 15, and I can't get out of that. So right there, he swung for 8 when he should have swung for 9, but I still would have gotten out of the 9. And then he would have enough to smash in with one more attack here from a ace, which he does have, guys. Spoiler warning: he has the 5-cost ace. I think he attached too many there. He's going to swing for 9. I'm like, okay, if you have the ace, then I have enough to get out of it, you know, because it's going to be a 7, and I could get out of an 8. So good game. That just required a little bit of math. He does quit out there. That was a very good game, very close game. And I think our opponent on the top there, we both made mistakes, right? Number one, if I had not aggressively used that Red Rock, I don't think this game would have been close. And I think I would have been in a very good position to win. It would have been a much more comfortable win. However, our opponent also made a mistake by not swinging last turn with the Edward Newgate. Yes, I could have technically swung into it, but then I couldn't have gained a life. And that is the difference. That is the major difference there. Okay, now let's check out a few games of the Straw Hat version of the list. Now, yes, I do have a card in here that you're not supposed to have that does not work with this leader. And I found that out the hard way. You're going to see in one of these games. In fact, I think in the next game, you're going to see I find out the hard way Guys, Gum Gum Giant requires your leader to be Straw Hat Crew. I just threw a bunch of purple Straw Hat cards together, said, all right, here we go. And like I said, I had to find that one out the hard way. Okay, so he's going to use Lion's Song to rest down my 4-cost guy here. And boom, 1K. I'm going to aggressively counter out of that. I couldn't draw a card. I'm not even going to be able to ramp a Dawn here because I don't have 3 or less life. But that's okay. We did things in a little bit different way here. So 5, he's going to give me... He had to aggressively counter out as well because he doesn't have any counter power apparently. Okay, and then I have 1 Dawn left here, threatening like I can even use this Gum Gum Giant Gavel. But why would I want to this early anyway? It was just a silly threat. Okay, I think I am going to use this here, I think, right? Let me see. Yep, we'll just bottom deck that. Unfortunately, the triggers don't work with the leader effect, or is that just the sim? Oh, well. I guess the trigger's not technically an event, but at the same time, it kind of is. I feel like it should work like that, but I don't know. All right, so they swing in for 5 here. They swing in for 5. I'm going to use my blocker. He's a 6K. Or they swung for 6 and then 5, so they did it a little bit out of order. And right here, I just know that Zoro has to go here. So we're going to rest down the Zoro, and we are going to attack into the Zoro. That is my game plan. I'm going to swing for 6, and then I'm going to swing for more. Swing for 10. I had to do it in that way. Again, the funniest part about this game is I'm threatening like I have a 1-cost 4K counter that's going to draw me to when it won't do it. You know, and I don't figure it out until next game, guys. It's too funny. I mean, that could have just been a Blast Breath, by the way, and then wouldn't have had to have a problem here. So I did... Well, that was way too fast. So they just end up quitting. Hang on 1 second. So the way that this turn should have gone... Let me pause. Okay, the way that this turn should have gone, he played out the 9 calls of Zoro. I was just going to... Hang on, did he swing first or after? Yeah, so number 1, he should have swung first for 6. That's the number 1 problem, because then that changes everything I'm about to do. But because he played out the Zoro, I'm going to 1K counter out. Like, that's what I'm doing the math on right now. I'm like, okay, I'm actually going to 1K counter out of this. Okay, and he ends up leaving. But this is what was going through my head. He only has 2 cards in hand. I know he's been off counters the entire game. And the next turn, I can actually just try to go for lethal. But here's the best part. Look what I'm going to top deck for the turn. A Red Rock. So now I don't have to go for lethal, and I'm just going to Red Rock the Zoro, and I would just more comfortably just start knocking characters off here. Now, his next card was a Hody Jones, so that is scary. But anyway, long story short, what I was going to do there was counter out of this card, of this attack. It was 6 and a 6. I was just going to give him a 1K counter and move on, you know. And then next turn, I was actually going to consider going for lethal because my hand's kind of bricked up here, and he has a Zoro on the board. However, my next card was a Red Rock, and that's going to answer every problem that I have, where I can literally just completely bottom deck his Zoro, swing 7, sit behind a blocker, and chill out. You know, sit on a card I think is going to work that's not going to with the 1-cost event. Okay, now this happens one more game, because like I said, guys, I just like whipped this this version of the deck together and then started playing games. And this is against Enel. Yes, that's right, guys. This version worked even with the dead card in hand against Enel. Too funny, right? Too funny. Okay, so right here he's going to swing 6 into me here. I'm going to give him a 2K. I don't want to take life too early, even though I do have ways to gain life in this deck. I would rather not take life too early. Swing it in for 8, leaving a Dawn open. I'm constantly putting that in the back of his head. Like, is this guy running a Blast Breath? Is this guy running a Gum Gum Giant Gavel? Is he running a Desert Spada? By the way, that's another card, actually, that'd be pretty good. There's a Desert Spada. Okay, 6 into 5. Okay, I do have to take this. I am running a Okama My Way, or Okama Way, in this version. Because, guys, my leader is not just 7 Warlords of the Sea. He's also Baroque Works. So, it's like, that card is great in the deck, I will say. Okay, so we're going to play out a Zoro here. This is the 4-cost 6K from OP08, I believe, or it might be from OP09, actually. I can't remember. But this is one of the newer Zoros here. It's a 4-cost 6K that does a top 5 search for purple Straw Hat cards. Okay, swings in for 7. I think I'm going to counter out of this one. I think I took the last one. I think I took the 7K from the Kikinojo. Bad news for this guy. I'm going to swing 5 at face first, or I think I'm going to swing 6 first, yep, just in case he gets some kind of KO trigger. Then we'll swing for 5. By all means, counter out of it if you want to. This Enel player was countering out a little too aggressively, in my opinion. But who knows? Like with the new OP08.5 and OP09 version of Enel, maybe it's a little more aggressive. Because there's Kikinojos, there's Gadatsus. I'm not exactly sure, to be honest. But Gravity Blade Raging Tiger cleans up those on KO effects, just removes the Kikinojos. He's going to play out 5 cost, 7k ace. He's going to swing for 9 into 6. No reason to save that. We're fine. He's going to swing for 7 at face. We don't like that, but at the same time, it's not the end of the world. So I'm going to swing for 5 first in case he gets a trigger. He counters out. I'm completely fine with that. I'm going to return a Dawn. I'm going to trash a card from my hand. I end up trashing this Gum Gum Giant Gavel here, I think. Or I should if I don't, because it's completely dead, right? And I put the ace to the top of his life. Or to the bottom of his life, excuse me. And that's actually very relevant, because now if it was some type of zero-cost event, wink, wink, you're the one who should disappear type stuff, no problem. We don't have anything to worry about. Okay, so he plays out an ace here. I think I do. I think I counter out of this, and I think I top deck a 6-cost Red Rock here. Yeah, we'll take it every single time, guys. That's one thing I'm going to mention more as we get to the end of the video. Did I put this in 2x speed? I'm sorry, guys. Let me see. Okay, 2x. There we go. So that is one thing I do want to mention is in OP0 8.5 and going into OP0 9, the meta does shift a little bit. And I think going up to 4 Red Rocks, if you can, in a deck, I think that's the way to go. Okay, so I swung in for 7 there. He takes it. I'm going to swing it for 9. He'll probably take this. Okay, he counters out. I don't know what the logic is on that, guys. Okay, I got it, guys. I figured it out. He's probably playing around pudding, and that's a very smart thing to do. I'm actually going to give him a life here because I don't like the position I'm in. Okay, he's going to swing in for 6. I do have a very strong 2K counter here. And I have a very good setup here. So hear me out real quick, guys. I have a very good setup here to attack in for 7 and then 9. And if he takes both and gets a trigger, I have a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger in my hand. I can clean up whatever comes into play. And if it doesn't, if nothing comes into play, I've got a very strong 7-cost Luffy Taro in hand that can cheat out a Jinbei blocker and give me some tempo in that way. Okay, so let's see what happens. So we're going to swing for 7. He takes it, gets a sure out. Now, that's not a body I'm ready to, drop a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger on. Like, that's not really a relevant body for us. We're going to swing for 9. He actually ends up taking it. So now, yeah, time to develop the board. Return a Dawn, cheat out a 5 cost. We're leaving 1 Dawn open again, threatening like we have a 1-cost event when we really don't. I think this might be the turn where we learn the hard way, guys. Make sure you read your cards. Have I ever mentioned that on the channel, guys? Make sure you read your cards. Okay, whoa, hang on 1 second. Pause. Rygo. My opponent just used a Rygo to remove my 9-cost Lin from the board. He had 3 life when doing that. So he lost 2 cards from his life to get this effect off, guys, to get rid of that body. I get it. I do understand that because, hey, he's in a tough situation. He lost an Enel and something else from that effect. Okay. Now it's still my opponent's turn. They still have 2 Dawn to work with. I think they can only swing for 7 here, or maybe swing for 6 and leave a Dawn active for like an El Thor, maybe. I don't know. Okay, just waiting on them. They're really deep in the tank here, guys. My opponent's really trying to figure this out. Okay, so they choose to go for 7. Okay, so right here, all right, I think this is the turn, guys. We use the Gum Gum Giant Gavel. I return a card. I throw a Sanji away. And hey, I still got to draw 1 card, right? I got to draw 1 card from the effect. And then I was like, wait a minute. Can't draw from this because my leader is not a Straw Hat. Even though we're running Straw Hats, my leader's not Straw Hat type. Okay, so we're going to swing for 9. This would take every card in their hand if they had enough to counter out of it. They're going to gain a life by trashing the ace. So again, I think right here, I do just go for lethal. I do believe that's the situation here. I think I go swing 9 and swing 10. I'm debating whether or not I want to use the Sanji. That's basically why this is taking me a minute to process it. But I think ultimately what I'm going to do is swing 9, swing 10. I'm like, you know what, man? Let's just go for this. Let's do it. Swing 9. Let's see if they get any kind of trigger. If they get any kind of trigger here that's like a blocker or something or a beige. And they almost got out of it. Good game. That was a fun one. Hey, we still won, even with having 2 dead cards in our hand the entire game, guys. Maybe there's some potential in this list. Okay, then we got 2 more. We got 2 more games to go over. All right. All right, 2x. And we are good to go. All right, so after that game, I took those cards out. I took out the Giant Gavels. Or, the Gum Gum Giant purple card. And we put in the Trafalgar Laws. Trafalgar Law is a 1-cost top 4 searcher for anything that costs 2 or greater in Straw Hat or Heart Pirates. Now, I'm not running any Heart Pirates cards yet, but hey, I think that's still an improvement to the list over a dead card, right? We'll take it. I did not have the card in the first 2 games we looked at for Straw Hat version. So we're going to swing for 5 here. I'm going to ramp a Dawn. We got 6 more here. We're going to swing 6 into 6. Let's eat some cards up out of his hand. And then we're just going to play out a Zoro, and we can get any of these cards we want. I'm going to get the 2K counter. I always try to arrange my cards properly at the bottom. Sometimes I get lazy, though. And now what is my opponent going to do? I think they're going to load 2 on Buggy, if I remember correctly, and they swing 4 into my Zoro. And guys, I'm actually going to counter out of that. Here's why. Normally I would not. However, get this. This card, so I'm going to use a 1K counter to get out of this attack, right? Now watch. So I'm going to use a 1K counter right there with the Jinbei. Now he's going to swing for 5 more. And that saved that attack on my leader. You see what I'm saying? So it kind of worked out either way in that situation. Okay, so they swing in here. I'm going to swing 6 into 6. Because I'm going to be honest, guys, I was scared he was going to go like 7 and 7. And then, you know, using the little 1K counter made a lot of sense then. But either way, it worked out the same way, and it was the safer route to go. They played out the Jinbei plus Edward Weevil. I'm going to swing 6 into 6 here. I'm just trying to eat up his hand a little bit. Okay, swing 2 into 2. I have 8 Dawn, so this is perfect. Attach 1, swing 6 into 6. He counters out. He's down to 3 cards, and time for Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. That card's real good, guys. Gravity Blade Raging Tiger is a very strong card. Okay, it's my opponent's turn now. They should be on 8 Dawn as well, because remember, we ramped a Dawn with our Zoro. All right, now I have a decent grip of cards in my hand. I've got like a 1K, a 2K, 2 more 1Ks, and a 0-cost 3K, and he just leaves. That's why we had to do 7 games today, guys. So what is he going to do in this situation? We're actually going to talk about this before we go any further. What is my opponent supposed to do in this situation? They have nothing but 2K counters in hand. What they should do, technically, is play out the Buggy, do a top 3 search, arrange things, smash into my board here and here, and go about things that way. However, you know, my next turn is not exactly going to be like a slouch of a turn, right? Because it's going to be, again, continuously attack into their board, whatever's sideways, and then we're like, and probably aggressively save these cards, by the way. That's one more thing I want to say. So they're at 8 Dawn, so they'll go down to 7 playing out Buggy. They're going to swing for probably at least 7, so they'll have 4 Dawn left. If they swing for 7 into my Zoro, I'm saving that card. You know, I'm going to save my Zoro if I have to, so that way I can, you know, potentially draw cards later with my leader's effect. So I think they left prematurely, but if they had attacked life, it gets even worse, guys, because look at that. I have another Gravity Blade on top of my life. They definitely left a little too early. However, again, I just want to really stress, with this situation here, guys, I think they should have tried to go for the board. It wasn't going to work out. I'm just going to be honest. Like they could have swung like 7 and 9 into the board. They're not getting either of those. They're unless they want to swing into my 2K, my 2,000 power guy, because I'm trying to start getting through cards in my hand and keeping a board presence and going about things that way. And then I can swing in with my Zoro next turn. You know what I mean? Or excuse me, not my Zoro. Play Luffy Taro, cheating out the Jinbei and smashing everything into their board next turn. And if they did go at life, then I get a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. But oh well, you know, it happens. All right, one more game. We got one more game, guys. This one is against Red Purple Luffy. And remember, this is all OP08.5 and OP09 type of content for today. Because that's the way that the sim is set up currently. I couldn't mess around with just an OP08.5 version. Because I think most of this was just OP08.5, but I might have been messing with some OP09 cards. Okay, so here we go. They are going to, or excuse me, I start off, they went first. I go second, and I play out a Trafalgar Law, and I get a Oh Come My Way. Now, I don't want him to know I have that card. I could have easily drawn 2 cards there and been fine with it. I don't want him to know I even am running that card. I want him to see a full Straw Hat package of cards, and then I want that to be my the ace up my sleeve later in the game. Okay, that's the concept at least. Let's see if it pans out. Okay, so I don't know what just happened there. They're just attacking very aggressively. They swung for 10 at me. I'm just going to slowly... So I ramp a Dawn with my my Zoro, just swinging for 4 to get the Dawn. He didn't have to counter out. And then I play out a 7-cost 8K Luffy that cheats out a 5-cost 6K Jinbei blocker. Okay, so here we are, guys. We're racing. We're kind of racing Red Purple Luffy right now to get to to get up in to get to 10 Dawn first. We got a Gum Gum Red Rock, which is massive. That's going to help us deal with the bigger characters. But hey, we're in a situation right now, guys. We're in very good position. We're in a very good position here. This is where the 8-cost Crocodile would have been really nice, in my opinion. But hey, it is what it is. Another option, okay, we have to talk about it because that would have ramped me to 9. I could have just swung for 4 just to ramp to 9, and then swung for 8 with my Luffy Taro and played out my Lin Lin to just go up a life. You know what I mean? And then next turn I'd be on 10 Dawn. I think there is definitely some merit in that idea, but let's see what happens. Okay, so I swing for 6. He has to 1k counter out. He does have 1 Dawn active, threatening a Radical Beam or a Gum Gum Giant. But hey, if he wants to use Gum Gum Giant right now, I'm totally fine with that because it sets him back, right? It kind of slows him down. So he's going to use a Jet Gatling there to get out of that 8. And then we're going to play out a Zoro and grab a 2k counter. We can't grab the blue cards, remember, with Zoro. Not with that version, at least, right? Or with that kind of searcher. And guys, we actually have like insane defensive capabilities right now. Do y'all see my hand? Like we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. We have like 13k in defensive power right now. He's going to swing for 7 into 6, and I think we're just going to use a Jinbei here in 2k counter. And now let's see what he does. I think he goes face. Yeah, 10 into 5. That was sneaky. That was sneaky of him. He's a sneaky dog. He's a sneaky little beast there, isn't he? All right. A sneaky little monster even. I don't know. I think we do need to counter out of this, but maybe not. I do still have whatchamacallit in my hand, the route, the way to reroute the attack, the Okomon way. Okay, so he's got this big character over here. I do still have a blocker. I'm going to swing 6 into 6, and this whole time I kind of want him to overextend, right? Like I want him to drop the 10-cost Luffy here because I'm going to absolutely ruin his day, right? That's what's going through my head. So we're going to Red Rock the 9-cost guy off the board. But I want him to play out the 10-cost Luffy next turn. Like, that is actually what I want him to do. Because I have the ace up my sleeve. Like I was saying, right, guys? Like, I have a way to get around it very easily. Okay, we're going to swing 6 into 6 here. I'm eating up his whole hand. I can't believe he's not taking some of these hits. Like, I feel like that's the strength of Luffy. You like, go down to, like, 1 or 2 life, and then you just sustain. So here we go. I'm basically daring him. Like, hey, bro, you know, by all means, play out that 10-cost Luffy. He plays out 9-cost Whitebeard or Newgate, whatever. 8... Okay, so I'm going to counter out for 2. That's a 7k blocker I have there, guys, because I'm at 10 Dawn. Okay, so right here, I think we do have to gain a life because of this annoying card on the board, Edward Newgate. So here we go. I think I'm going to play out the 9-cost Lin Lin. I think that's my my only option here. So we will return a Dawn. We'll trash a card from hand. The other 9 Lin. We'll gain a life. I think we swing with Zoro. That way we ramp a Dawn. We'll attach a Dawn to my leader just in case we need that later. Just in case we need that later for the the event effect. And yeah. Okay, so now my opponent has decided they're going to rest down my blocker, and it's time to go for lethal. Okay, I've been waiting for this moment, right? I've been waiting for this moment. Here we go. Let's see if they can predict what's in my hand. Because they know I've been threatening a 1-cost card for a while now, so they know I have like a Blast Breath or something, or like a Giant Gavel, like I said, or a Desert Spada, or something like that. So I take the first hit, and I'm like, please load it up. Please load everything up. Come on. Do it for the, for the content here, guys. Do it for that. And look, they do. Okay, they load up 6. They're going to swing for 12. Oh, come my way. Change the attack to Zoro. And that is game. Guys, that is GG. He doesn't even have a Dawn active for a Rad Beam or a Gum Gum Giant. And that's it, guys. Going to swing for 6. I'm going to get every card out of his hand. Then I'm going to swing for like 12 and 12 or whatever it ends up being. Okay, pause. So there was no way out of it. I was going to swing for 6, swing for 6, swing for 6. Okay, so that's 3 cards out of hand or a life. And then my last 2 attacks were going to be, what's her name? Oh, gosh. Lin Lin and Luffy Taro. And they would have had 9 Dawn to work with. So it would have literally been, a lot. Okay, there we go. That's the math for that. For that equation, the answer was a lot. All right. Let me see how we're doing on time. Okay, we're not doing too bad. Now, let's go ahead and check out the deck list that I was running for this. I think there's some potential here, guys. I think there's some potential. I'm not saying it's going to be the best deck out there, but it's something to explore in the future. So here we go. This is the first version. This is the, what's it called? The 7 Warlords version. Okay, here it is. Remember, guys, this is a 7 Warlords card. Our leader is also 7 Warlords. So, with a card like the new Trafalgar Law, this requires your leader to be 7 Warlords, right? If your leader has the 7 Warlords of the Sea type, bounce a 4 or less. Boa Hancock, you can look at the top 3 cards, then place them in any order, then give up to one of your 7 Warlords type leader or characters 1 rested Dawn, which is massive for what we're doing, right? Because that allows us to play out on a 4 Dawn turn, right? On a 4 Dawn turn, we can play out the Boa, attach a Dawn to our leader, swing for 6. We could swing for 5 first to be safe if we need to, but then have a Dawn rested, or excuse me, a rested Dawn attached to our leader, and now we can start cashing in on his effect. Let me read his effect for those who are not aware what it does. Dawn times 1, after you activate an event, you may draw 1 card if you have 4 or less cards in your hand and have not drawn a card using this leader's effect during this turn. Okay, so that's what's going on here, is you're basically just, once you get down to 4 or less cards in hand, and really if you get down to 5 or less cards in hand, and then you use an event, it will count as if you had 4 cards in hand. So one of the big cards to use for that effect in this deck is actually a Gum Gum Rain. So that way, Gum Gum Rain or the Gum Gum Jet Gatling, because if you have 6 cards in your hand, you're going to use this card and trash another card with it. So now you're down to 4 cards in hand if you had 6 cards to begin with, right? You use 2 cards to use this card's effect. You're down to 4. You're going to be able to 0 cost 3K, and you're going to be able to draw a card with this leader. But you have to have 1 Dawn attached to the leader or it won't work. So that's one thing to consider. Another thing, too, is like with the 2K counters in here. Excuse me, check this out. So notice this list here, I'm only running this buggy as my 2K counter, but that's mainly because I'm running 3 Gum Gum Rains, 3 of the Jet Gatlings, I'm running 2 Oh Come My Ways. It's just, I don't really have a lot of room for 2K counters when I'm running that many. They're really like 3K counters, you know what I mean? Because they're 0 cost still, and we have all these cards to trash with them. Like we have 4 Boa Hancocks, 4 Weevils, 4 of the other Boa Hancock, 4 Lin, 4 Crocodile, and then we have these events as well down here, like Red Rock, Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, and 2 Oh Come My Way. So we're actually running a lot of bricks. So it would not be the worst idea in the world to try to go up to like 4 and 4 of the 0 cost events. But other than that, guys, this deck was running very well. You get down to Sengokus or the Buggies to start setting, to start. Sengoku is really nice in this list because you're doing a top 5 search and you're snagging cards like, your Jinbeis, your Weevils, your Trafalgar Laws, either your Boas, the Buggy, or the Crocodile. So you can gain life with this effect. You can bounce cards. Potentially, you can find cards that gain life, bounce cards, 2K counters, things like that. And then last but not least, you can bounce them back to your hand with Trafalgar Laws. If you have any, if you searched one up or if you have one in your hand already, you can use the Trafalgar Law to get more value, more and more value from the Sengoku. And you're just going wide, wiping everything on the board you can and just going late game. So it's, this version was pretty good. I think this version, I loaded up 3 games and I think I won 3 games. And some of those games, I understand they weren't like, it's not like it's against the best competition, but it's just meant to kind of give you guys an idea of what the deck is capable of. Now, let's go over to the Straw Hat version real quick. Okay, now this version, I'm going to move the leader so we can see everything on 2 lines. This one was not load 3 games and win 3 games. This one was like load 5 games. No, hang on. It was load 6 games, win 4. It might have been load 7 games, win 4, to be honest. It struggled because at first, the biggest problem was this. Let me bring up Straw Hats real quick. I was playing 2 games. It's funny, though. The 2 games I won, I won my first 2, and then I think I lost 3 straight and then won 2 more. But the 2 games I won, I was running this card, and it was just dead in my hand the entire time. Because, here's why. It gets to a point. Oh, by the way, guys, looking at this card, this is an OP0 8.5 card. However, the Sanji and the Law are OP0 9, just to kind of answer any questions from earlier. But hear me out. This deck kind of just goes tempo, and all of a sudden, you're in the driver's seat. And yes, the leader, even though... I got rid of the leader. Hang on a second. Even though your leader doesn't have a lot to do with this, it does later in the game, right? Now, by the way, in this version, I'm running 4 of the purple 0 cost events, because this guy can only search up purple Straw Hat cards. And yes, guys, this is a Straw Hat card. Okay. The Oh Come My Ways just seem really good. I just think this is a really solid card. If y'all have any ideas, by all means, please share in the comment section below. And notice another thing too, guys. I think in this version, I'm running 8 2K counters in this version. I'm running 4 of the Uso Hachi, 4 of the Sanji, And maybe there's an idea to go down 2 of these Gum Gum Rains, but at the same time, I can search them up. Like, okay, so Trafalgar Law, this is from OP09, 1 cost, 2,000 power, 1k counter on play, top 4 card search of Straw Hat or Heart Pirates. But here's the issue. He can only grab cards that cost 2 or greater with Straw Hat. Well, guess what? This card does not cost 2 or greater. It actually costs 0. So we can't even search this up with the Trafalgar Law. But everything else we can, right? Everything else in the deck we can pretty much search up that matters. We can't search up the 9 or the Crocodile, but, you know, that's different. Those are in the deck. Those are more of like a tech card in the deck. But being able to search up like a Red Rock, because this is Straw Hat Crew, that does make this card pretty valuable. And of course, you can search some of our mid game, like our Zoros, Luffy's, Sanjis, 2K counters, and stuff like that. Yeah, that's about it, guys. I'm done. I'm done rambling. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. I think there could be something here. I'm going to be honest, because it revolves around these 2 types right now. I don't care like which leader you're playing. For the most part, if it's purple, you can literally just run a Straw Hat package from the new OP08.5 stuff and the OP09 stuff, and I think you're just going to have decent results. So, like, this is a leader that it's like his effect is generic enough where you can actually get some value from that. But if you do want to stick to more of the 7 Warlords type of stuff, like, there's definitely a world where you can mess around with this version right here and maybe even go in some of the Baroque Works stuff. Like, I think there's, where's that 5-cost guy at? I think it's Das Bones. It's like one of the new ones. Like, okay, our leader is Baroque Works, and this might be a decent card to just include in this list somewhere. Like, maybe you move some numbers around and mess with it, and maybe this is a card you can sneak in the list as like a 2 of. Or there's also, this is one of my favorite cards, like, you know, early on, this was like one of my favorite cards because of what it does on KO. If your leader has Baroque Works, of course ours is. Okay, you know, for those who don't know, like, this is a 7 Warlords and Baroque Works leader, right? Okay, well, Miss All Sunday says, if your leader has the Baroque Works type, return up to 1 event from your trash to your hand. It doesn't check the type of the event. So, I mean, you can get back Red Rocks, you can get back Raging Tigers, you can get back these 0-cost events if you need them. You name it, right? And like, that's, and it's a blocker. It's a 3-cost 1K blocker, so it's just coming down and blocking. I don't know, it seems decent. There's other cards as well, like Miss All Sunday to mess around with, and even, where's Miss Wednesday? Dawn ×1, if your leader type includes Baroque Works, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and set it as active. So now this does not have the same ramping effect as we have in Purple Yellow Croc, but still, I mean, this is still a very, this is the leader that one's meant for, right? Pause and read this if you don't know what it does. You know, ramping 2 Dawn, or well, you ramp 1 Dawn and you have 2 Dawn active from it. But this card's still a very solid card. And let me say this, there's probably a route to take where you can go more of a Baroque Works, but as we know, currently, at the time of recording this, Baroque Works is not exactly insane right now. And who knows? Like, see, there are more and more cards being printed, but see, this is still 7 Warlords of the Sea. I was going to say, even though this is Baroque Works searchable with its type, the effect is pure 7 Warlords of the Sea. I don't know. We'll have to, you know, mess around with that in another video. And, okay, hang on. Card with... No, okay. I've got to read some of these later. I don't want to just kind of, you know, do this all on the spot. But just hear me out, guys. I think there is some potential here, especially with the 7 Warlords version and the Straw Hat version, with just a little bit of Baroque Works support. Because this is just a great ramp card. Like, this is just a good way to ramp Dawn. It's a 4-cost character, 1K counter, and it can do some real damage late game if they have big characters on the board. But as long as we're gaining life with cards like Crocodile or cards like Charlotte Linlin, which also bounces characters out of our way, and then falling back on these really, really powerful events, I think it might be worth trying to find a way to fit in like 2 or 3 Miss All Sundays, or, you know, trying to fit in or this Miss All Sunday, or 2 or 3 Miss Wednesdays, or 2 or 3 of this Mr. 2 Bon Cray Bentham. Who knows? We'll have to see. All right, I'm done. I'm done yapping now for real. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, please help me out. Tell me what y'all think. If y'all been messing with a deck like this, or do y'all think it has no potential? What do you guys think? Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Oh, almost forgot. I was going to say, I know I'm missing something. Missing something very important here. There we go. Big shout out to everybody who supports my channel. Guys, if you are just liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, anything like that, you're helping out the algorithm. You're helping the channel grow. Thank you guys so much. Big shout out to everybody who supports me. If you're someone on the VV Pirates Playmat supporters page here, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel by buying the playmat. Hope you guys are enjoying that. You know, those came out really, really cool. And last but not least, for my patrons, thank you guys so much. Let me move my head to there. thank you guys so much for supporting me in the ways y'all do. Just trying to help out in whatever ways you can, even if it's just donating. That it means the world to me, guys. It really means a lot to me. All right, now I'm done. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, guys, peace.